So let's take a look at how Gonzo, our terminal UI for log analysis, can help us find out what's going on in our logs faster. In this scenario, we have the hotel demo application running on a Kubernetes cluster, and we're gathering both container or application logs and Kubernetes events from the Kubernetes API. We have a blog describing the setup, and we even have a sample log file generated from a sample failure scenario that you can download and run through Gonzo yourself. Gonzo takes inspiration from K9s for a clean panel layout. 4 panels at the top that summarize the logs in various ways, and the raw logs at the bottom that can be filtered and searched. You can go full screen on the raw logs at any time by hitting the F key. When we're trying to find the needle in the haystack, we often need to start by seeing the forest for the trees. See what I did there? The top left panel gives a sort of word cloud of the top words appearing in our logs. The top right panel is very handy for open telemetry sources, as it gives us a view of the top attributes and resource attributes attached to our logs, and the distribution of values across them. Very handy for understanding cardinality in our logs. Here we can see the distribution of logs that came in by service. Next up, let's take a look at the bar charts that show us severity of logs over time. We can select it to see a heat map of severity over time, as well as the top severities happening by service, and the top patterns by severity. I don't see anything obvious here other than some errors on our collector and Prometheus stack I've been meaning to fix, but nothing I see on our core application. So let's jump back to the main screen. The next widget, called Log Patterns, looks at the top patterns happening in the log, message, or body across all logs sorted by frequency, stripping out variant fields like user IDs. There's something here suspicious boiling to the top: failure to load resources and connection refused. Let's filter the logs in the lower pane to look for failed, and let's throw in error for good measure. You can tell my regex foo is not that great. That trimmed down our SEP substantially. If I jump to the start and ignore the errors again happening on the observability infra itself, I can see a bunch of failed requests coming from the load generator service that is simulating load against our e-commerce app. And let's go full screen by hitting the F key. And that's followed by some warns and errors with no explicit service assignment. That's probably the Kubernetes API events. Let's crack one open by selecting it. Yeah, I can see in the attributes that these are Kubernetes API events, and not the easiest on the eye. A bunch of key value pairs basically. I'm going to send it to an AI model to interpret it quickly for me. That could be a hosted model or one I'm running locally, using something like Llama or LM Studio. The model comes back and I can see that these pods specific to the checkout service aren't able to pull the image defined there. Now I'm starting to piece it together. In a routine update of our checkout service, we didn't specify the correct architecture or ARM image, so the checkout pods haven't come up properly. I can chat with the model some more for further details, and the checkout service being down is certainly going to have an impact on any upstream services using it. So let's review. Gonzo helps you make sense of your logs in real time by 1. Boiling up patterns, helping you see the forest for the trees. 2. Filtering and searching to hone in on those patterns. And 3. AI analysis for quick explanation, understanding, and next steps. Install Gonzo for free on GitHub at gonzo.controltheory.com.